Zillow just abruptly revised down their home price forecast for 2025 in response to deteriorating market conditions. And in fact, Zillow is now predicting that home prices are going to go down in over 200 cities across America in 2025.
Zillow revising the numbers down for the forecast of 2025 is significant. We're going to talk about in this podcast. We're going to talk about why this is happening, right? Why they actually revised it down, how it's going to affect not only your local market, but also the national market. And we're going to talk about two top 5 questions. Number one, the top 5 questions and answers that retail sellers and retail buyers should be asking in this market due to these revising of numbers. And also, number two, the top 5 question and answers that investors should be asking that is going to lead to increasing the value of your portfolio and also maximizing your cash flow on a monthly basis. Man, this is going to be good. Bring your pens and pad. Let's get in this thing. You see that thing, baby? Let's get it. Let's go.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. 40 days, God, I've been Swayze. Grew the beard out, that ain't shady. That's a bird, man, I ain't baby. Talking whole pie, that's so crazy. How I
What's good, baby? It's your boy Dale. I'm back in the saddle again. Our motto is to buy, build. We already bought it already, so we already own it, free and clear. Refinance to long-term debt, cash flow. That is the motto. Cliff, man, is that a pretty strong motto, man? What do you think?
Man, the model is strong. Like, you're getting each piece of the invest, right?
What it do, y'all? It's your partner Dale back in the saddle again for another edition of Real Estate Friday Live. Cliff will be here shortly, guys. He is taking care of business for us, guys. But if you could, guys, do me a favor, if you don't mind, for your partners, man. If you could, in fact, if I can find it real fast, guys. I think I don't got it. If you could, guys, do me a favor, share, like and subscribe. There's a kind of like a little bell there, guys. Here we go. I found it, y'all. If you could, guys, like, share, and subscribe. Guys, we going in the bag today. So I hope you have your pens and pads today, man. This is going to be really good, guys. So let's dive into this real fast. What's going on, guys, is we normally go through a current market analysis, which is what we normally do, which is fine. We're going to do that. We're going to do the exact same thing. But, guys, this happened today, right? Zillow. Everybody knows who Zillow is, what they do, how they do it. They actually lowered or slashed their 2025 sales forecast. I mean, they lowered it. They did this here. They did this here. They cut it. They cut that thing. Said we got to cut this out. They got to cut it, y'all. It went down, guys. Down. What does it mean for home buyers, sellers, and investors? Let's listen to this data real quickly, guys, real quickly, and then we're gonna talk all about this and what we can kind of do to this thing, man. But this here, guys, really kind of shocked me because of the fact that typically when it comes to this, Zillow doesn't revise a lot, but they did on this one, guys, in 2025. So here we go, guys. Let's dive in this. Here we go.
Just abruptly revised down their home price forecast for 2025 in response to deteriorating market conditions. And
Wow.
in fact, Zillow is now predicting that home prices are going to go down in over 200 cities across America.
Yo, so they are predicting that home prices are going to decrease at about at 200. Let me say it again: 200 cities across America. 200. And mostly, guys, what's happening is these are major cities. These are not, I'm sorry about this, guys. These are not these little small cities at all, what I call mid-tier towns. These are major cities. Let's keep going. Here we go.
in 2025. In this video, I'm going to cover these new Zillow home price forecasts and why the housing market is rapidly declining right now. To start with, you can see Zillow is now forecasting 2025 price declines in 204 cities across America. Some of the biggest cities where they're now forecasting these declines include New York, Houston, San Francisco, Denver, San Antonio, Sacramento, Austin, and San Jose. And the reason they're doing—
Now, I am not surprised by Houston or Austin. I'm a little I'm not really surprised by San Antonio. I'm in Texas, guys, and Texas has been voted as probably one of the strongest states in the union. So when it comes to this, guys, I'm not surprised by Austin, Texas at all, because Austin was severely overinflated during COVID, right? Excuse me. Number two, I'm not surprised at all by Houston. Houston with the exact same thing, right? Number three, San Antonio, somewhat so forth. They were more of a sanctuary city type of scenario, but their policies kind of leaned more toward an inflationary type of economy. I'm definitely not surprised at all by New York. New York is, man, I will never invest in New York City at all. And you saw also California, again, at Burbank, not surprised at all by California. Notice, guys, these cities really had policies that led to them being really overinflated, besides New York and California. That was just trash. Let's keep going.
This is because home buyer demand just declined by even more to start the year. The buyers are out on the housing market. They have no interest in buying homes at these sky-high prices, and now the inventory is exploding. With Redfin reporting that
Now, why is this happening, guys? It's very simple. The cost of capital is too much. An FHA loan right now with a 700 plus credit score, really about 720, your rate is probably going to be between 6 and 7%. And that is before PMI. And right now, people cannot at all afford those payments right now. And number two, you actually have a seller's class, which is home sellers living in La La Land, really believes that they can sell these properties for these high price points. That ain't happening. So you have an influx of inventory because of unwise sellers being advised by unwise realtors a lot of the times, and buyers saying that, hey, I can lease for less money than it's going to cost me to buy this home. That just makes sense, guys. Let's keep going Let's keep going to it.
the months of supply on the housing market has now hit the highest level in 6 years.
Yes.
This is a metric that tells you how many months it would take for all the homes on the market to sell, given the current monthly sales pace. A lower number typically favors sellers, while a higher number typically favors buyers. And in some markets, the months of supply is absolutely exploding, especially in Florida. With the same Redfin report identifying Cape Coral, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, Northport, and Jacksonville as some.
I actually owned a home in the West Palm Beach area, right? For a lot of West Palm Beach and Hobe Sound, Florida. Florida is, specifically Miami. Miami is super inflated from a rental perspective and from a home pricing perspective. So there's a correction coming. Guys, there is a correction coming in Bitcoin, in the stock market, and in real estate. It has to correct, guys. It's overinflated. No matter if you are in a red state or in a blue state or independent state, it has to correct. Now, I'm going to tell you what cities will not feel any of this correction. Okay, keep it posted, but I'm not surprised by Cape Coral, Florida. Definitely not surprised by Miami. Definitely not surprised by Fort Lauderdale. Even I think Fort Lauderdale will actually grow a little bit more because people are flocking from Miami down to Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale is about a 45-minute drive from Miami. West Palm Beach is about a 30-minute drive from Fort Lauderdale. So you just go all the way down there, which is fine. So you'll see some essential growth in the Fort Lauderdale and West Palm Beach area, but also Stewart, Florida, Hobe Sound, Florida. Man, you can go all down the line down there, guys. People are going to be moving from Miami down through Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, Stewart, Florida, Hobe Sound, Florida. You're going to be seeing a migration down there because they have to. So people are going to move farther away from Miami and drive an hour and a half to get to work in Miami. Watch. Here we go.
The markets where this months of supply is now highest. And what I'm going to do now is a rapid fire round where I take your suggestions, your housing.
So stop right there, guys. So as you can see, guys, It is overinflated. That's what's going on now. Now let's dive through some of these questions, guys. All right. So let me get rid of this real quickly here. Stop sharing. Gotcha. Good. There we go. Now, guys, we have a couple questions. Okay. Because of what happened with Zillow and them revising their sales forecast pricing down, right? Why did Zillow adjust its forecast? We heard it because the buyers are saying that they're out of the market right now, and you have some sellers in La La Land believes that these buyers are going to pay top tier pricing for their properties and borrow at a top tier interest rate. That ain't gonna happen. Let me ask you this question: if you are a buyer, if you're a potential buyer, do you want to borrow money at a lower interest rate and buy at a lower price point, or would you buy at a higher interest rate, a higher price point? I know that's a dumb question, but that's what's going on right now, right? So you have again an influx of inventory, which means properties on the market right now that are not selling, long days on market, potentially. What Cliff would say is that between 350 to about 450, they're selling it about 30 to 60 days on the market. That's fine. Then what happens from $400,000 to $800,000, you're looking at about six to 9 months on the market. That's a long time. 800,000 and above, you're looking at roughly 9 to 12 months, which is a long time. And 1.2 million and above, it may be on the market for 12 to 24 months, guys. But watch this. What's happening is properties that actually are selling, right? What you don't see at all, and this is what's driving this adjustment by Zillow, what you don't see is on the HUD or ALTA, which is at the closing table, right? Or at escrow. Sellers are giving records amount of concessions or credits to the buyer, just to get them to buy the property. It can be anywhere from 5 to 10%. And this is detailed on the HUD or ALTA. You don't see this in the listing. You just see sales price X, and that's it. They doesn't tell you the entire story. So because of what's going on behind the scenes, right, Zillow had to make an adjustment down. They had to, because of the influx of inventory and the buyer saying that we're not getting in this market at all until we get a price correction, which will drive down the rates, right? It's real simple. We're in a consumer-based economy. So the consumers are going to drive the sales. It's real simple, right? All right. Now, second question is, because of this Zillow forecast down, what impact this is going to have on the local and national housing markets? Again, a correction, guys. The local, depending on what areas, and I'm going to give you the major area comparison as well as the mid-tier. Let me give you what I mean by those two things. I'm in Texas, right? Dallas and Fort Worth are considered a major metropolitan area. Houston is deemed as a major metropolitan area. Now watch this now. I'm in Texas still. Waco, Temple, Texas, Killeen, Texas, those are considered mid-tier towns, right? The reason why Dallas is a major area is most of the population is here, right? Waco or Temple and Killeen, Texas are mid-tier towns. They have a population there, but it's not as big as a Dallas, right? So the impact locally on Dallas is going to be different than the impact that's going to be on a Killeen, Texas, right? Because typically it's the Killeen, Texas, the mid-tier towns, they're already at the bottom. So a correction is going to be very little, if any, right? There'll be a little, but not deep. In Dallas or Austin or Houston, it's going to be a significant correction. And I called this in 2020. I told everybody. I went on to Valiantainment's real estate webinar they were having back in 2021, 2022. Right? I went on that thing. I told everybody. I said Austin it's going to be severely overinflated. Not on that webinar, but I was told I was a fool. You know what you're talking about, but numbers are numbers, right? So in Austin, there's going to be a significant correction. H-Town is coming. San Antonio, it's coming. Miami, it's coming, if not already there. Fort Lauderdale, yours is coming. So is West Palm Beach, yours is coming. New York, you're already there. And it's going to be even worse. Los Angeles, praying for y'all, but it's coming. San Francisco, coming. Right? Burbank, coming. San Diego, it's coming. It is coming, guys. It is coming because we have a influx of inventory, and buyers are saying, I don't want to buy at the top market. That's what's going on. So now, how this is going to look from a national standpoint? Well, you just heard it from the guy on the video. He's going to see the same thing, but from a national standpoint. Now, there's some things that President Trump could typically do from a national standpoint, and maybe some governors, and maybe also some city councils and county judges as well, which is just mayors of counties, and the mayors of cities. They can do a little something, but it's coming. There has to be a correction. You're seeing already in Bitcoin. Bitcoin has went down significantly, and I have my opinions on Bitcoin, and I may do a live with Cliff on the Bitcoin because he loves Bitcoin. I'm not really a big fan of Bitcoin because I believe Bitcoin is the stock market on steroids with no security and no regulations. To me, that's a recipe of dangerous. Why? For me, because I don't know a lot. I don't invest in crypto. So since I don't know, I'm not as astute as someone that has a multi-millionaire or billionaire in crypto. I don't do it. It's just me. Now, your opinion may be different because you may be a lot more astute than I am, and that's fine. Do your thug thizzle. Do your thing. It's all good, baby. All right, it's all good. But so just to answer the question, the impact locally, it's going to be different depending on the major or mid-tier towns, but you're going to see the kind of commonality from a national standpoint, right? This is when real estate investors have to get a lot wiser, as well as buyers and sellers, right? Next, guys. Next. What buyers should do now? Adjust your pricing. Adjust your pricing. Okay? Get out of la-la land. No one, and even you, seller, will not buy a property at its top price point. Now, you have some anomalies here and there. I got to keep it 1,000 with you. But I would say you need to adjust your pricing. And if you don't, be okay with giving concessions at the closing table. What are concessions? Credits on the outer and or HUD to the buyer to entice the buyer to close. If you do not, be okay with your property being on the market for a long period of time. Be okay with that. I know you're not, because you want to sell the property to make a profit and go on about your business somewhere else, right? Or adjust your pricing down. Don't be opposed to adjusting your pricing and or giving concessions at the closing table. All right? It's real simple, right? Here's another one, guys. How can sellers adapt to the changing landscape? Simple, guys. Be okay with negotiating with buyers. Advise your realtors, hey, I am okay with negotiating. Let's get a deal done. If it's 10, 20 grand, I ain't gonna cry over that at all. As long as I meet this a certain baseline, I'm cool. Know what your baseline is. So you know what? I'm not going no lower than this when it comes to profit. Because you could say price point, but still have to give a buyer concessions to close it, and now you're below your bottom line threshold. Okay? So again, know what your bottom line net profit threshold is. Communicate that to your realtor if you have one, and move forward. Be okay with negotiating. Okay? Be okay, right? Don't be greedy, right? Does all this make some sense, guys? All this makes some sense now for buyers. For buyers, let me see. For buyers, okay. For buyers, guys, my bad. Let me talk to the buyers now. For the buyers, guys, hey, buyers, negotiate your ass off. Ask for the moon. Ask for the moon. If you like, here's how you know if you can ask for the moon. Look on the long day. Look at the days on market. Here's a little bit of a trick, guys. Write this down. Write this down. All right. I'm giving y'all a little trick. All right. For properties you buy on MLS, on the market. Here's a trick that a lot of listing agents do. for properties that have been on the market for a long period of time. Here's what they do. If a property's been on the market for a long period of time, let's say 90 days, that's a long period of time, 90 days. They will take it off the market for maybe 1 or 2 days, then relist it to start the clock over again. So you may see it as 5 days on the market, but really it's 45 days on the market. You may see 10 days on the market, but really it's 70 days on the market, right? So it's up to you. If you don't have a realtor, know these tricks. If you do, advise your realtor on, hey, guys, what is the true days on market for this property? I want to know what the true, has it been delisted and then listed again? If so, when? Is this an expired list? In other words, has it expired? And then they fire that agent, and then they put another agent on here which started the clock over. Right? And then you instruct your agent, hey, is the seller open to negotiating? I like the house, but not at this price point, but I'm open to negotiating. If the answer is no, move on to the next deal. Move on to the next deal, because the deal ain't for you. If they do, you better, if you do, it's all good. If you do, that was Cliff. If you do have a seller that is open to negotiating, man, you better ask for the moon. I want XYZ. Here's a strategy that Robert Kiyosaki taught me. If you're not embarrassed by your ask, you didn't ask for enough. Within reason now. What's in reason? So if a property is on the market for, let's say $900,000, don't offer $600,000 for it. That's just not. It's not going to happen. So what they look like? Okay, if a property is on the market for, let's say $900,000, right? $900,000. Been on the market for, let's say, for about true days on the market. Let's say 90. Let's say 95, 100 days. All right, you say, okay. There were $900,000 for it. That's a little bit too much. You've been pre-approved for, let's say, about $850, right? All right, cool. You know, you got the money for $850 to make it work. I would make my offer price. This is for retail, $800,000. That's too low. What's your counter? Now you know that you're approved for $850, and you know your threshold may be $835. You really want $835, $840. But anything close to $850, you Gucci. That's how I would do it. That's how I would do it. I would advise your realtor to be aggressive as possible. Be aggressive, because you have a pre-approval in your hand. You're ready to close, right? This is for retail buyers. Retail buyers. You're buying your homestead, which means your house you're going to live in. That's how I would do it every single time. If your realtor doesn't want to do that at all, fire that realtor and go somewhere else. Playtime is over. It's over. It's time to get serious with this thing. All right. If they want the commission, right, they got to earn the commission. Does that make some sense, guys? It's not hard at all. It's not hard at all, guys. All right. Here in a second, guys, when they come back, we're going to go through the top 5. I'm going to focus now on the real estate investors. All right. On the investors. So if you have an appetite to invest in real estate, don't go nowhere. I'll be right back. Here we go.
Walk me through everything, but let's start from the beginning. How'd you get into this space?
Well, when I was 17 years old, my Uncle Gary, who still lives to this day, introduced me to a concept called passive income. Okay. And I said, oh, Uncle, what's that? Yeah. He said, something that you do one time, but you get paid over and over again. I'm like, why am I trying to go to college? I want to know how to do that. Gotcha. And so while I was in college, I began to look at business models that generated passive or residual income. One of them was real estate, because everybody and their mama actually had it, from Robert Kraft, Jerry Jones, all the billionaires actually had real estate in their portfolio. So I began buying real estate while I was in college. The first deal that I did, I made $3,500. And in college, that's a big time. In college, you broke. For sure. College. For sure. Then I went from $3,500 to $10,000 to $26,000, and now $35 million worth of real estate. For me, business is always about solving someone's problem. Whenever you're buying a real estate transaction, the one thing I look at is, what's the pain point? Why you want to sell for? And typically, I like buying properties below wholesale. I never buy properties at retail. That didn't make any sense to me at all because I'm planning for the worst case scenario. Each and every deal that I actually acquire, I actually take home cash when I actually acquire it. Wow. Every single time.
If you wanted to know how successful real estate investors make money with their acquired real estate and not when they sell it, click on the link below or swipe up and download our free ebook, Distressed Property Investing. The blueprint is in the ebook. Stay blessed, holla at your partner, and download the ebook today. All right, guys, we are back, guys. Now, this is for the real estate investors. All right. So if you are an aspiring real estate investor, get your pen and pad out. Because now I'm talking to you now. All right. We're going to talk about the top 5 questions and answers for real estate investors. All right. Let me say it again for the folk in the back row. The top 5 questions and answers for real estate investors for this market due to the fact that Zillow has revised their sales forecast down. That's why you see it in the bottom left-hand side, you actually see Zillow still there, right? So watch this now. Now, here's the first question that I get a lot of times. Ladale, how do I find profitable deals in a competitive market? Great question. Great question. Well, this is when you have to become an expert in locating distressed properties. So what is a distressed property? A distressed property is a property that needs some. There's 2 types of distressed properties. You have a dilapidated home, was a property that needs to be renovated, right? Or a seller that is in financial turmoil. One of those 2. All right, that's distressed properties, right? I'm going to focus on just the distressed properties right now that needs work. Right? Because the other one is a different discussion, and I'll do a live on that one later on. How do you find profitable deals? You learn how to locate distressed properties in your city and county. Notice I didn't say state or nation. I said city or county. Now, why is that so important? It's very simple. Is one of the best partners I actually have is a local municipality, which is called a city. Now, why is that? Well, a city only makes their revenue off of taxes, as well as the county, right? Taxes. They make no product, no service. They make their money only on taxes. That's it. Taxes from where? Property taxes. So if there's a property that is vacant, dilapidated, needs work, have code violations when it comes to paint, boards on windows, high grass, burned down property, the roof is messed up, the fence is messed up, right? Those are what they call code violations. Those are liabilities on the balance sheet of the city. Why? Because it's not bringing in revenue. So in steps you, because you know how to locate distressed properties. And we're going into the strategy in a second. Simple. Now, why are you needed? Well, if you can acquire a distressed property, right, at a good price point below wholesale, right, then what happens is when you do that, you then invest the capital you needed, right, to improve the condition of the property, i.e. renovate the property. You can, number 1, put it back on the market to sell. Or number 2, you could refi the long-term debt and or lease the property out. Number 3, you can sell or finance the property out yourself. Become the bank somebody else. You have 3 different strategies. Not hard at all. Does that make some sense, guys? This is the reasoning why the city values a partnership with a local investor, because you are solving a problem for the city. They don't want to be investors. They want to be tax collectors. Let me say it again. Cities don't want to be investors. They want to be tax collectors. And that only happens when you step in, right? Just so happens you know how to locate a distressed property, right? Vet the deal the right way, right? Structure the deal the right way. And then, of course, close, renovate, refi, put some tax-free money in your pocket, put it on the market, sell it, or you can become the bank somebody and sell or finance the property out. You've now solved the problem for the city. Simple. All right, guys? All right, cool. Number 2, what's the best way to finance my investments without draining my savings? Simple, joint venture partnerships. All right, guys, almost all of the deals that I do, none of my own money is in the deal. Why? Because I don't want to drain my money. And it's a win-win for my joint venture partner, whether it be apartment complexes, hotels, which I don't invest in no more at all, office buildings, but I've divested out of those, warehousing, new construction, land development, right? Single-family residences, apartment complexes. Joint venture partners are essential to this. Essential. Does that make some sense, guys? They're essential to this thing. That's how you can keep your cash in your bank. Now, let me give you another secret real fast as well also. All right, let me slow down real fast. I'm talking too damn fast. Whenever you go borrow debt from an institutional lender or a bank, they want to know that you actually have the cash to perform, to acquire, and to sustain their investment in you. It's only shown if you have money in the bank, whether it's your money or someone else's money. Just doing that for a second. That's how you solve that problem. Number 3, how do I maximize cash flow from each property? Simple. You acquire right. I buy below wholesale. I don't buy retail. I don't buy at wholesale. I buy below wholesale. Let me give you an example. I'm gonna give you a real life example of a property that I actually acquired. We acquired a property in Jackson, Mississippi. This is a single-family residence, right? We bought it for, I think, $15,000, right? 15 grand. And the property was valued at about $20,000. So I bought it below wholesale, right? It needed about $40,000 worth of work. So I bought it at 15. I put 40 into it. I'm all in at $55,000. The after repair value, which means after I renovate the property, it was worth $110,000. No, I can get 75% of the 110. So that is $82,500, right? That is. So 82,000 minus what? 55,000. My profit was 27.5. Let me show you this on the screen so you can see exactly what I'm talking about real quickly, because I want you guys to see exactly what I'm talking about real fast. These are real numbers. This is a property in Jackson that I currently own right now. I own it right now. It's on my balance sheet right now. It's a single-family residence. All right, I'm gonna walk you through the numbers. I want you to see what I'm doing. There we go. There we go. Now, I want you to see my numbers. Right, here we go. Remember right now. Remember what we got. All right. So the property was valued at $20,000. I bought it for $15,000. So I bought it below the value. So $15,000. I put 40 into it. So 40,000. I'm gonna give you, so 15,000. Here we go. Come on, Liddell. My bad, y'all. $15,000. Here we go. Plus 40,000, right? I'm all in at $55,000. All right. Now, the after repair value, which means after I have increased the value by investing the capital into it, was $110,000, right? I know that I can get from the bank 75% of this 110. That's $82,500. That amount, 82.5 minus 55,000, which means that my all in, when I acquired it, that was my profit, 27.5 on one property, and none of that was taxed. That's tax-free money, because all I did was I paid off old debt with new debt, and debt cannot be taxed at all. You see how that works? So that's how that works, right? Here's another deal that I actually have. This is in Texas, right? Bought a property for $87,000, right? The as is value, as is currently before I put any money into the deal, was $113,000. I bought it for $87,000, right? So therefore, I walked into the deal with $26,000 of literal cash in my pocket. Literal cash in the pocket. Not bad, is it? Now watch this. Now I'm putting remember, 87,000. I'm putting 40 into it. So plus $40,000. Here we go. That's $127,000. Right? Actually, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I got it for cheap. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got it for cheaper than that. I'm sorry. So really, it was 87,000, guys, times what was it? 90%. I actually bought it for 78.3. I'm sorry. So at 78.3, that's what I got it. I got 40,000 renovation to it. Actually, no, I'm actually wrong. But I'm gonna say 40,000 for example. That's $118,300, right? 118.3. The ARV is $189,000. Right? That's what it is. 189. Yes, that's what it is. That times 75% is $141,750. Right? So minus what? 114 is what it was, right? 114, 3, I believe. That's my profit at the end. Not bad, is it? All tax-free. It's tax-free money, guys. That's tax-free money, right? Tax-free money. Now, all right. That's how you maximize your cash flow. You buy right, buy below wholesale. Number 4. What mistakes should I avoid that could kill my cash flow or portfolio growth? Easy. Buying wrong and not knowing your exit strategy up front. Begin from the end. Know your strategy up front. Once you know your strategy up front, work your way backwards to the beginning. Right? If your strategy for said property is to buy and renovate, right, and refi and lease, you better make sure you have enough cash to make that mortgage payment. If you borrow the debt. Number 2, you better make sure that you have enough delta there to refi to pay off that old debt, take on some cash, tax-free, right? And number 3, you better make sure you actually have a good property manager that can begin leasing the property out immediately for you, right? Because some lenders want you to have the property leased out before you even move forward with the refi. Some will actually do it without it, but you'll pay probably a 2% higher interest rate. I did that on one of the properties that I actually own. I'm actually closing on that on Monday. Does that make sense, guys? All right, that's it. Lastly, number 5. How do I manage properties and tenants effectively without losing my mind? Make sure you choose the right property manager. I don't manage my properties personally. I hire a licensed professional who's just a realtor or a broker, a realty broker, to manage my properties for me because they have the relationships with the attorneys for any evictions. They have the staff in place for any type of renovation that need to be done to it. If you move someone out, get it made ready for you. Cleaning crew as well. They have the systems already in place to be able to collect payments and then distribute your portion to you after the management fees. I would just say, just make sure you choose the right one, because their presentation may be good up front, but the execution may suck on the back end. I know, because right now I'm going through that now with a property manager we're dealing with right now in another state. They're pissing me off. But it's part of business. You go through those ups and downs, guys. So make sure you know how much they charge, because typically property managers can charge between 8 to 10% of the gross monthly lease payment. So make sure that your net that you take home covers your debt service, meaning your mortgage payment. That's principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Does that make sense, guys? That's what I would typically do when it comes to effectively. You don't manage it. I would allow a property manager to manage it. Now, there's a very successful real estate investor who I think is why his name is At My Best. He's on Instagram. I advise you to follow him. He gives you the real deal. Good guy. He manages a lot of his properties on his own, and that's great. He enjoys that. I don't. That's fine. I don't want to get phone calls. And again, here's a little bit of news flash for you guys. Write this down. Make sure you insure your HVAC condensers, your hot water heaters, your plumbing and electrical in the house, and also insure any loss of rents. That'll save you so much headache. Okay? I'll talk about that later on, guys. But that you can literally insure your rental payments. Yes, you can. You can insure anything you want. You know, guys. Well, guys, man, that's all I have for today, guys. Hope I added some value to today. Now, guys, real quickly before I came off, I have to go get it in with my daughters real fast. Daddy-daughter dance. Yo, we talked about locating distressed properties. Don't you worry, your partner got you. Hey, we're giving away a free e-book on how to locate distressed properties in your city and or county, guys. We talk about how you can look at this. It's a free book. It is free. Don't want nothing from you at all. I want to give you the information. My whole thing is, I think courses are for the birds. I think they're trash right now. People want community. People want information that's valuable to them. What's the best way to learn is to go through the process of locating a distressed property, right? Getting the bag, going through the process of acquiring, renovating, refinancing, hiring GCs, hiring a property manager. That starts with learning how to locate a distressed property. If I teach you how to locate a distressed property, right? Vet the deal, structure the deal, right? If the deal makes sense, I'll partner with you and we can close the deal together itself, right? I'll fund the deal for you and we can profit split. Real simple. All you got to do is, guys, just click on the link below in the description, scan on the QR code, or direct message me the word real estate, and my team will get you at the link today. Real simple. Does that make sense, guys? Also, guys, real quickly, guys, I'm always asked concerning my merch, guys. Hey, we got merch, baby, because I look better than you. This is my hat, guys. It's called I Got That Bag University with the dollar sign in the middle of that thing. I know I look better than you in it. Don't get mad at me. We got hats, guys, hoodies. We got T-shirts. You name it, we got it. Scan on the QR code, guys. I'll click on the link below to get your merch. And if you click on that, if you buy the merch and tag your partner in it, baby, when you buy it and put it on, you know what I'm talking about? We'll enter you into a drawing for you to what? Win a $100 gift card to spend on anything you want. Not in the store. We're talking about a Visa card. You can buy your dinner with it, whatever you want to do with it. It'll be on us for saying thank you for buying our merch, guys. But guys, that's all I have for today, guys. Thank you so much for your time. You know I end it every single time, guys. Before you leave and while you can, you see that thing, take the damn picture and give it to your mom and them holler at your partner. God bless you guys. See you next week, guys. All right, y'all. Peace. Hi, my name is Liddell Bugg. Mastering the strategy of locating distressed properties has allowed for me to own about $35 million worth of real estate currently right now. We're talking about new construction, single-family residences, commercial properties, and apartment complex. You name it, I own it. Now, I know you're asking, what does this got to do with you? I'm glad you actually asked. One of the most common questions that I receive when it comes to real estate investing is that they say, Liddell, what is the best strategy I should use when it comes to executing a good investment strategy in real estate? Should I buy and hold? Should I buy and flip? Or should I do a rental scenario? My answer to that question is, why not do all three? But the good thing about it is the investor that masters the art of locating distressed properties will know exactly how and what strategy is the most wisest in that situation. That's the key to this whole thing. If you wanted to know how successful real estate investors make money with their acquiring real estate and not when they sell it, click on the link below or swipe up and download our free ebook, Distressed Property Investing. The blueprint is in the ebook. Stay blessed, holler at your partner, and download the ebook today.
Bless God, give thanks. Bless God, give thanks. Bless God, give thanks.